Tonight, the 2024 Stadium Championship Series West season wraps up at Rice-Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake City. Adam Anderson returned to the series with a championship win in Glendale, looking great to make it 2 in a row. And Joe Foley continued his surprising season, picking up a series-leading 5th freestyle win at State Farm Stadium. Or will Joey freestyle end the season back on top? Find out now with round 24 of Monster Jam. And here we go! Oh, he's throwing caution to the wind. He's got 2 in a row, back-to-back flip. Oh, can he get the save? Oh, yeah. He lands it right into a moonwalk. Huge air, and he's gonna make the save. Oh my goodness! With the combination move! We're on the campus of the University of Utah at Rice-Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake City. Welcome to Monster Jam. I'm Scott Jordan alongside the 7 Deuce Adam Entignap. Adam Anderson is officially back as the 5-time World Finals champion. Won it all in Glendale, taking the event championship last round. Adam is rested, healthy, and winning again, and that could pose all kinds of problems for the rest of the league.
Yes, it can, and it came at a perfect time with World Finals looming. He being rested is just exactly what the doctor ordered. Adam Anderson looks very sharp, and as an athlete, sometimes you need that little bit of break. You get beat up in these Monster Jam trucks, you get jarred around, all kinds of stuff is going on, but for Adam Anderson, he looks like he's going to be on top.
One of the biggest stories in Monster Jam this season has been El Toro Loco's Joe Foley. He has jumped into the stratosphere in 2024 with 5 freestyle wins, the latest coming at State Farm Stadium. Adam, how special has Joe's season been?
It's been absolutely incredible. You know, when you look at the guys that Joe Foley's going up against, Ryan Anderson, Adam Anderson, Bari Musauer, Colt Stevens, Corey Rummel, there's so many drivers out there that are fantastic, and it just seems like every time Joe is rising to the occasion. We could really see it last year. You know, he drove Axe, and Jim Kohler really kind of let go of the reins a little bit, let Joe Foley do his thing, and now he's one of the best freestyle drivers in Monster Jam.
Let's hear from the El Toro Loco driver who's with our pit reporter, Leslie Mears.
That's right, guys. He's locked down 5 freestyle championships on the season. And you said, you know, you've been a little bit, you know, inconsistent, but I think it was kind of all that, you know, just really go for gold, you know, mentality that you had this season that got it done for you.
Absolutely. I mean, 90% of the time, my freestyles are either hit or miss. I either knock it out of the park or I crash and burn, literally. So, I mean, Glendale was awesome. I mean, everything just kind of came together. I broke early in racing. I had to go take care of the truck, so I couldn't do 2-wheel. But that just kind of motivated me even more to come out and absolutely destroy this thing for freestyle. I got the win. The truck was in all right shape. I mean, I'll take that as a win all day long. Now we're coming into Salt Lake. I mean, it's the last show of the year. I'm absolutely stoked. I know all these guys are out here. They're ready to absolutely tear it up, and that is all I want to do. I want to come out here. I want to beat that Gravedigger guy. I want to beat that son of a digger guy. Every single one of these trucks out here. All I want to do is put them down at the bottom and have El Toro Loco all the way on the top.
Thank you, Leslie. Here's tonight's driver lineup for Stadium Championship Series West. Adam, who leaves Salt Lake City with the trophy.
Scott, this track is still relatively new to these drivers. No one competing here has more than 1 start, but Ryan Anderson did win the overall here last year, so I give him the edge.
He's had the edge in a lot of tracks here. Salt Lake City, no different when it comes to Monster Jam history. We take a look at the season points standings through 20 rounds on this series. As we mentioned, Ryan Anderson clinching the series earlier with son of a digger 607 points at the top. Adam Anderson in 2nd, Camden Murphy in 3rd, Bari Musauer in 4th, Corey Rummel in 5th, Colt Stevens in 6th. It's been a great season from top to bottom for all of these drivers, but Ryan Anderson dominant once again when it comes to winning a series championship. Drivers will compete tonight in 3 competitions: JCB Racing, the Great Clip Skills Challenge, and Freestyle. Points are awarded based on finish, with 12 going to the winner, and the driver with the most points at the end of the event will be crowned overall event champion. It's time for Track Talk here in Salt Lake City. It's a condensed track similar to Arlington without a major step-up obstacle. Adam, how would you strategize out here to win?
You know, one of the biggest things here in Salt Lake from my experience isn't so much the floor. I know the floor is a little bit smaller and more condensed, but it's really the altitude that's going to get these drivers. The track is going to dry out so fast because of the elevation that they're at, so the water is going to dissipate very quickly, making the track slick. So throttle control is very important. And the other thing, when you're at altitude, you have a lot less horsepower, so they're going to have to make up for that and be mindful.
First competition tonight, JCB Racing. Our round one matchups are set. Avenger versus Monster Mutt, Megalodon, Son of a Digger, Soldier Fortune, Vendetta, Thunder Roars versus Velociraptor, Gravedigger, Zombie, Toro Loco, and Bakugan Dragonoid, all getting those first round buys. Some good matchups in round one. Which one are you looking forward to the most?
I absolutely love the Avenger versus Monster Mutt. Father, son, going one-on-one. You can't beat that. The competition is at another level.
Well, let's head down to the track for that first race. It is Jim Kohler Avenger, Chris Kohler in Monster Mutt. And there may be a little more at stake here than just a trip to the second round. So let's check in with Leslie Mears.
Guys, there's a friendly wager between father and son on the line here. These guys have only raced each other one other time this season, with Jim coming out on top. Jim has to beat Chris tonight if he's going to win, and if he does, it's 20 bucks going to dear old dad.
20 bucks going to Chris Kohler right now. Chris Kohler on rails. He's got the advantage in the final corner again, up over the ramp. And Chris Kohler goes off the track, though. Jim Kohler may have pulled this off as we wait for the finish. No, they are going to give it to Chris. Take a look at the Super Glue to the action replay.
It looks like Chris gets off to a much better start, but watch Jim here in this first turn. You can see he just gets a little high on the berm, and the track is already dry. It looks like Chris Kohler barely gets that front tire across first.
Next up, Corey Rummel in Megalodon up against the series champion Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger. Ryan's had some success this year against Corey. 8-0, that's not bad, head-to-head against somebody. Let's see if Corey can pull it off here in the last round of the season. Going into World Finals, Corey Rummel slings Megalodon around. Ryan Anderson stays tight, and Son of a Digger has the lead.
The track is very slick right now. They don't want to overdrive this last corner. Ryan Anderson stays a little tighter.
Corey Rummel just going too deep. That's ultimately the difference. Son of a Digger advances. Take a look at the Super Glue replay.
Very difficult. You can see Megalodon just go slightly wider. Ryan Anderson sharper. He doesn't have the speed. It looks like if it was longer, Corey Rummel might have made that up.
Next up in round one, Mike Christensen, Vendetta, Kayla Blood, Soldier Fortune. Kayla's been on a bit of a hot streak lately, winning 3 out of her last 4 races. She has not beaten Mike this season. And we are off and running here, our third race in round one of the burn, both of them into that first far corner of the track. And right now, Kayla Blood goes wide, Mike Christensen stays tight, and we are even into the straightaway.
Kayla Blood had a great first corner, but maybe made a slight mistake in the second one. Oh, Kayla Blood hits the throttle a little too hard.
Goes around the turning pod, can't straighten it up. Mike Christensen, Vendetta, moving on.
Kayla Blood, this last corner, this dry track here in Salt Lake is getting these drivers quickly.
Our final round one race features Colt Stevens and Thunder Roars, the reigning World Finals Freestyle champion, up against David Olford piloting Velociraptor. They both have 1 racing win on the season. Colt has not lost to David this year.
Something going on with David Olford. It looks like he comes to a stop. Probably an electrical issue by the way it just rolled off. It looks like he got it restarted, but this is Colt's race.
Colt Stevens still putting in a good time here, going up against the ramp now. Thunder Roar skying high across the finish line. Colt Stevens moving on.
You can see right here, something happens with David's truck. He just loses all power right there for a second. They're gonna have to get back there, see if they can fix his truck for 2-wheel skills.
Let's take a look at our JCB Racing bracket for round 2. Gravedigger, Monster Mutt, Zombie versus Son of a Digger, El Toro Loco, Vendetta, Bakugan Dragonoid versus Thunder Roars. Fastest time in round 1, Ryan Anderson, Son of a Digger, 21.329. Coming up, Adam Anderson is coming off an event championship. His quest for 2 in a row begins next. Gravedigger's coming up on Monster Jam. Monster Jam is brought to you by JCB, the official heavy equipment partner of Monster Jam. Welcome back to Salt Lake City for round 2 of JCB Racing. Our first race in round 2, Gravediggers Adam Anderson, Chris Kohler in Avenger with an update on Gravedigger. Let's check in with Leslie.
In Glendale, Adam Anderson had issues with his front steering, so they replaced that pump. In practice yesterday, he said it still felt really, really tight, and with a condensed track like what they ran in Arlington, he's gonna need that front steer to wheel it around here quickly.
And Chris Kohler got a little overzealous there, slinging it into the turn. Adam Anderson makes a nice corner, and Adam Anderson paying off big time with a win. Gravedigger moves on. Here's a super glue. Go to the action replay.
It looks like Chris Kohler just doesn't get off the line as well as Adam Anderson. And right now, to me, it looks like that Gravedigger truck is just tuned a little bit better and has a little bit more horsepower. You can see Monster Mutt grabs the pod, but comes up short.
Former Monster Jam Rookie of the Year, Musa and Zombie up against four-time World Finals champion Ryan Anderson, son of a digger. Ryan 51-10 on the year with 12 wins. 3 of those 51 wins coming against Musa. Right now, Zombie, though, with a slight advantage going into that corner.
Musa grabs the pod slightly. It's going to slow him up coming into this last corner. He pushes a little wide.
You have to be mistake-free, run a perfect pass against Ryan Anderson. And Ryan Anderson gets the win over Musa. Take a look at the super glue replay.
You can see in that first corner, he grabs the pod. Ryan Anderson executes exactly like he's supposed to, getting the job done and moving on.
Next up at round 2, Mike Christensen, Vendetta with Team Throttle Monster up against Joe Foley. El Toro Loco. Utah is the home for Team Throttle Monster, so Mike Christensen trying for a home field advantage here on this track. Up over the berm, they both go into that corner, and we'll see if anybody clips the pod. They both go around nice. Great turns for both drivers.
Looks like Joe Foley drifted it in nicely, but oversteered, had to back out slightly, overdoes that corner. This is Mike Christensen.
Too far out goes El Toro Loco. That is the difference for Mike Christensen. Vendetta moving on to the semis.
Right there, grabs the pod, goes in very deep to this last corner. Joe Foley not gonna make it happen like that.
That brings us to our final race in this round. Camden Murphy, Bakugan Dragonoid. He's 28-16 up against Colt Stevens, Thunderosaurus, advancing from round 1. They are even into the berm turn. And out coming into the far corner goes Bakugan Dragonoid. Camden Murphy, perfect turn. He's got the lead heading into the straightaway.
Great throttle control from both of these drivers. It's gonna come down to this last corner. It looks like Colt Stevens goes wide.
He's gonna try to accelerate and push Thunderosaurus. He gets there, and this is gonna be a photo finish. Take a look at the original super glue. Glue to the action replay.
So what happened is it looks like Colt Stevens got a little bit more drive by going wide, but Camden Murphy gets the win.
What a race to close out the round as we check out our bracket for the semifinals. Gravedigger versus Son of a Digger, so Ryan meets Adam Anderson, and then Vendetta versus Bakugan Dragonoid. Fastest time last round, Gravedigger, 21.339. Coming up, the fastest 4 take the track. We kick off the semifinals with a good one. It's Anderson versus Anderson, and it's next on Monster Jam. Monster Jam is brought to you by Grey Clips, the official hair salon of Monster Jam. Download the Grey Clips app and check it online today. We are back at Rice-Eccles Stadium for the JCB Racing semifinals. Our first matchup in this round is a battle between brothers Adam Anderson and Gravedigger against Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger. Adam gets lane choice here. Gravedigger been having some front steering issues. We'll see if that plagues Adam Anderson here. Into the berm corner they go. Great run here for both drivers as they reach that turn. Again, Ryan Anderson gets up on 3 wheels. He's gonna get a little wobbly into the straight.
I've seen 2 mistakes from both Gravedigger drivers so far. It's coming down to the last turn.
And Adam Anderson gonna spin out into a donut. You never want to see that. Ryan Anderson moving on 21.081.
Adam Anderson pushes so wide in this last corner. I'm not sure what happened. Very uncharacteristic for Adam. There could be problems.
Front steering issues catching up to Adam Anderson. Next up, Mike Christensen, Vendetta up against Bakugan Dragonoid's Camden Murphy. For more on this race, let's rejoin Leslie.
I asked Wendy Christensen to ask Mike how he felt the track was out there. He said, guys, it's getting really loosey-goosey. He also said that the finish line jump is really tough out there, and that's why we're seeing these trucks struggle.
All right, thank you, Leslie. Never want to see a track loosey-goosey out there, Adam. Right? We got a good one here. Look at Mike Christensen slinging Vendetta around the final corner, but Camden Murphy too much right now. Bakugan Dragonoid gonna get the win. Mike made it interesting, 21.539.
I love that racing terminology. You can see Mike Christensen hitting that little bit of loosey-goosey patch, doesn't get the drive. Bakugan Dragonoid comes away with the win.
The JCB Racing finals are locked in. Ryan Anderson will pilot Son of a Digger against Camden Murphy and Bakugan Dragonoid. Ryan got the fastest time in the last round, 21.081. He gets lane choice. This is a good one. Two of the best racers on this series. Ryan 53-10 with 12 wins. Camden now 30-16 with 4 wins. They've met head-to-head 8 times. Ryan 5-3. Here we go. Bakugan Dragonoid, Son of a Digger for the racing crown. The first 12 points of the night up for grabs.
Ryan Anderson, a slight lead. Bakugan Dragonoid grabs the pod coming into the last turn.
And they went too far. He's got to adjust here on this turn. Look at the turn on a dime for Camden Murphy. Bakugan Dragonoid. What a catch-up race for Camden, and he takes a win.
Wow, that was an absolute Hail Mary save for Camden Murphy. He had so much faith in that last corner, held it wide open, and came away with a big win.
Fastest time of the night right there. Gets his 5th racing win of the season. Right now, let's join Camden Murphy with Leslie.
Guys, that was wild. Camden, you got put in the lane that you didn't want to be in, and then it looked like you were almost hopping over the turn pods out there. I really thought you were going to lose it.
Honestly, I did too, and I figured Ryan was going to put me in the lane that I hadn't been in all night. He is one of the best of all time, hands down, not just racing, but everything. So to be able to be up against him in the final round of racing is just awesome, but to take him down is a whole nother level. I thought I messed up. I was trying everything I possibly could. I kept hitting the turn pods, but I just kept my foot in it, hope for the best, and we came out on top.
Camden gets 12 points with the win as we check out our first BKT overall points standings in Salt Lake City. Son of a Digger with 11, Vendetta with 10, Gravedigger with 9, and Thunderoris with 8. A great and wild first competition. 2 more to go. And up next at Rice-Eccles Stadium is Great Clip Skills Challenge, where drivers could attempt 2 technical maneuvers on 2 wheels, or they could do a donut. And each driver was scored by fans in attendance on creativity, skill, and execution. 12 points once again on the line. Let's take a look back at our top 5. Taking the 5th spot, David O from Velociraptor gets a stoppie into a moonwalk.
Nice stoppie, getting that thing 90 degrees up in the air, balancing 12,000 pounds.
8.488 for Velociraptor. Next up, Joe Foley with a bicycle El Toro Loco.
Getting a nice little bicycle, slight save there.
In 3rd, Barry Musa with a consistent slap wheelie to moonwalk and Zombie.
Great execution with the slap wheelie. Gets it nice and slow so he can kind of ride this thing out across the stadium. Grabs the combination move there. Great job from Zombie.
In 2nd, Camden Murphy following up the racing with a big popper.
Hits the popper, balances it on top of the pod. Dancing a little bit there. Bakugan Dragonoid. Hard to keep that balance up there. See if he can ride it down. Nice job. Camden Murphy keeping that thing balanced up there forever.
And getting the win, Ryan Anderson getting on the sidewalls here with Son of a Digger.
This is Ryan Anderson's specialty here. Sidewall to bicycle. Hits a nice little save.
Comes off again with another bicycle, going right back at it again.
Ooh, looks like he wanted more, but couldn't quite pull it off.
Ryan gets 12 more points with a win as we check out our BKT overall point standings after 2. We are tied at the top between Ryan Anderson and Camden Murphy with 23. Barry Musa in 3rd, Adam Anderson 4th, and El Toro Loco's Joe Foley in 5th. For Ryan, he gets a 12 skills win. Let's join Ryan and Leslie.
Got a little wild and crazy out there. I thought you were going to save it on that 2nd one, though, as you take the scales win.
100%. I thought so too, man. I was in the gas. I was going for it, but once it taps the roof, the official shut it down. So I was still in the gas, but the truck didn't want it anymore, man. Wild, crazy out here. A lot of people getting taken out by the track. The trucks weren't getting it. The track wasn't getting it. So I knew I was going to throw it old school. 2 bicycles, try to get that sidewall cyclone. My man got a little greedy on the sidewall cyclone, trying to keep it for more rotations. I want to get past 8. Me and Tyler are tied for the most revolutions on the sidewall, and I got to take Tyler out. But that's all behind us. Right now, Salt Lake City, me and Cam are tied for the points overall, and it's the last event of the season. Freestyle tonight is going to be buck wild.
2 down and 1 to go in Salt Lake City. Freestyle begins next on Monster Jam. Everyone in Monster Jam is proud to be partners with St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Become a partner in hope and receive a custom St. Jude Monster Jam This Shirt Saves Lives t-shirt. Text Monster Jam to 785-833 or visit stjude.org/Monster Jam to learn more. We are back on the campus of the University of Utah with Stadium Championship Series West. We are tied at the top here at Salt Lake City as Camden Murphy and Ryan Anderson have traded positions, each with a win and a second-place finish. Let's start with Camden Murphy. Adam, he led off the racing win. We go to Glendale last event, same result there. He had 2 wins there, but a huge letdown in freestyle. How can he avoid that same result here in Salt Lake?
I mean, this happens to Camden Murphy time and time again. We've talked about it. It is a mental game with Camden Murphy. It's happened so many times that he's letting himself down, that it's in his head, and we can all tell it's in his head. He needs to get out of his own way and just do the best he can. That's all you can do.
Ryan Anderson won the skills competition, has once again found his groove after winning the series. What would an overall event win here mean for Ryan heading into World Finals?
I mean, we're putting the cherry right on top of the cake for Ryan Anderson. If he can come out and win here tonight, going into World Finals, he's going to let everybody know, yeah, I won the series, but guess what? I'm still the man. It's going to be epic.
He has been epic so far tonight as we take a look at our current BKT overall point standings heading into freestyle. Son of a Digger and Bakugan Dragonoid tied with 23. Zombie 6 points off the lead. Gravedigger 7 behind. And El Toro Loco and Vendetta are tied 9 points off the pace. Here's a nice freestyle order. Joe Foley has elected to close this one down in hopes of a 6th freestyle win. Camden Murphy gets to come out early. Got to put the pressure on Ryan Anderson, who's in the 11th spot. Who has the advantage here in this order?
Got to be Camden Murphy in that 3rd spot, right? I mean, if you get a chance to come out and surprise these fans, give that wow factor, something they haven't seen before, and get a huge score, it happens time and time again. Ryan Anderson in that 11th spot, you can't count him out, but man, Camden has everybody in the palm of his hand, and he has to make it happen.
He's had us all in the palm of his hand all season long. Ryan Anderson did win freestyle here last year, and Joe Foley in that spot. You never know what's going to happen with El Toro Loco, but moments ago, the freestyle competition did begin with Shaw, Oregon's David Olford and Velociraptor riding for Team Throttle Monster. Try to get one going here, coming up over the berm into a slap wheelie combo, and then goes around and around again, looking for a donut. Just not much there for David, and his run ends with a 6.686. Now let's get back to the action here. Up next out of Columbus, Michigan, 2023 co-rookie of the year, Chris Kohler in Monster Mutt. And with more on how Chris feels about his truck tonight in Salt Lake, let's go back to Leslie Mears.
Even though there's not a step up this weekend, Chris Kohler said he's excited about this track layout. He said the ramp faces are very steep and they're also cupped out, which he said is going to send you straight up into the air. He also said he's a lot more relaxed this weekend. He wasn't that in Glendale, and he didn't have a great freestyle there or in Seattle. So he's got a great tune-up on the truck. He's relaxed, he's confident, and he's ready to attack the track.
Thank you, Leslie. We have seen a shift in gears with Chris Kohler coming on lately. He's got 2 freestyle wins late in the season, and this is only his 2nd start here at Salt Lake City. Finished 6th here a year ago, but we have seen a different Chris Kohler since he took the reins of Northern Nightmare back in Detroit.
Yeah, you could definitely see a momentum shift when he got into Northern Nightmare and came away with a couple event wins, and that was really awesome for Chris Kohler just to get that confidence. But right now here tonight, it kind of started out in racing. It looked like to me his truck is a little slow, and I don't think they maybe tuned that motor as well as they could have, or they're just not getting something out of it that they wanted. To me, the truck looks a little sluggish here tonight, so he's going to have a tough time, but so far, he is making it happen.
Calling out Team Scream up here in the booth here, right?
A little bit, you know, it's definitely difficult. We had a lot of problems as athletes and racers tuning your machine at these altitudes. It makes it very, very difficult, and you can struggle a lot.
We're going to see if he can struggle here, handle the backflip ram. Morgan backflip here from Monster Mutt, and Chris Kohler goes up. Chris Kohler comes down, and he lands it back on all 4 BKT tires, and it's not done yet. So regardless of the truck running tight, it's still getting the backflip. He's still landing these jumps. So we'll see how the altitude handles that run after that big wow moment.
It's always good to have that backflip early so the crowd hasn't seen it yet. It definitely produces big scores. Chris Kohler with a nice air onto the flat, gets a good recovery.
This guy's it into a slap wheelie, almost into a modified bicycle coming off that side of the obstacle on that pod. And now he goes up again, cross threads right down the middle, trying to go across the berm on the other side of this track. Now he's gonna bounce it over a little bit, just went too hard, ends up on the hood, and that'll do it for Monster Mutt. Take a look at the original super glue to the action replay.
Nice backflip here. Comes down on the front tires, takes a little bit of an edge off. Expert move from Chris Kohler. Nice jump here, and then you can see he just gets those wheels turned a little too early, a little too aggressive, and lands on the hood.
Next up is Camden Murphy and Bakugan Dragonoid tied for the overall event lead. For more on his thoughts on his 2024 campaign, let's go to Leslie.
Guys, Camden told me that his goal in competition is to always have a lasting moment that's going to have an impact on the sport. And we saw him do that in Arlington this year, but he said it's also been coupled with lots of bad luck. And he said, I just want to be able to get through an event without something catastrophic happening. And guys, as he said that to me in the pit party this afternoon, huge wind came through and blew over his Red Bull all over his table. So hopefully that's the only bad luck he's going to have, and he can clear out the night on top.
Thank you, Leslie. A big win here would go a long way for Camden Murphy moving into SoFi Stadium in Monster Jam World Finals. But he has sort of nicknamed this thing Murphy's Law with him, where everything is going so well, and then the bottom just drops out on him, and chaos ensues.
Yeah, and something that Leslie specifically said, that Camden said, was he just has bad luck sometimes. And, you know, as an athlete, it's hard to believe in that. Sometimes you have to look in the mirror and you have to understand that sometimes you are the problem. Sometimes there's problems underlying that you're not looking at. If you're having bad luck all the time and other drivers aren't having bad luck, you have to figure out what's going on, and sometimes you just have to do a Hail Mary and change things up. If Camden Murphy's going for these big wow moments all the time and he's having huge wins or failures, that might not be the recipe for Camden Murphy. So you have to look in the mirror sometimes and say, maybe I got to change things up and go for a new strategy.
And some bad truck placement, some awareness there where he was trying to figure out where to go, ended up too close to the wall, had to back up. Now he's got something going, gets the transfer up, clips the back two wheels, and he's going to go over here, and no opportunity to save it. Unfortunate end to Camden Murphy's run. Check out the Super Glue to the action replay.
You can see a huge air comes up a little short here, gets a big bounce off the back tires and drives that BKT tire into the dirt, flipping it on the hood.
7.356 for Bakugan Dragonoid. Chris Kohler has the lead, but can Monster Mud hang on? Freestyle continues next on Monster Jam. Welcome back to round 24 of Monster Jam. Today's festivities kicked off with the most family-oriented pit party in motorsports as fans arrived early to Rice-Eccles Stadium to meet their favorite drivers and take pictures with the trucks. If you want to attend the pit party at your next Monster Jam event, get your tickets at monsterjam.com. During the break, freestyle would continue with Kayla Blood and Soldier Fortune, but she would end up rolling the truck with 82 seconds left on the clock. Comes off the berm, smoke flying out of the back of that truck, and that would do it, 4.299. Next up out of Ogden, Utah, Mike Christensen in Vendetta. I talked earlier about the team shop, Team Throttle Monster, being in Ogden, Utah, so a home field advantage here for Mike Christensen. We have seen both the trials and triumphs of being on your home track in Monster Jam.
Yeah, it's definitely something that's heartwarming, brings a little bit of that confidence. You just feel the mojo, your family's there, everything's going good, you have great energy, and Mike Christensen, he can take advantage of that right now here in freestyle.
Ogden, Utah, just 45 minutes away from Salt Lake City. Big contingent here of the Christensen family and Team Throttle Monster. Mike now moseying around the track here, gets into the far corner, coming up over the jammer. You see a great look at the 8-pack buried in there. And that tire stack into a slap wheelie combo there for Vendetta. Nice extension of the truck. Perfect 180-degree angle for Vendetta. Score to beat 9.139 from Monster Mud Chris Kohler. Now off to the far right. Going to try to thread the needle here. Shoots the gap from one side of this long track to another.
Mike Christensen not really having anything fantastic yet, just kind of warming up, getting that crescendo effect. But definitely needs to start pumping it up. There's a nice air.
And even though this is a condensed track, there are still long straightaways here, long angles, long gaps you can shoot throughout one side or the other. And that's what we're seeing Mike Christensen do here as he goes for the Morgan backflip. Vendetta is up. Perfect execution on the back end. And Mike Christensen, Vendetta, gets the second successful backflip of the day here in Salt Lake City. And now coming up over this side of the track again, Mike Christensen going to make a nice turn coming back into our side. Headlights in Vendetta shining bright here in Salt Lake City. Brake check, straight up sky wheelie for Vendetta into a slap wheelie combo. Nice move.
nice sky wheelie, but he needs to get the momentum up right now, right? He needs to hit more jumps, definitely switch it up. He's hit that jump twice already, doing the same move. The crowd wants something new, and it needs to be big.
And on the far side, Mike Christensen coming in a little hot here for the trucks.
Oh!
And I think he lost brakes there, just ran right into Gravedigger and Son of a Digger. Take a look at the original Super Glue to the action replay.
It's a nice backflip here, gets a good rotation, and then it looks like he has a little bit of brakes and then lets off. Something going on big time.
Next up, the reigning World Finals Freestyle champion Colt Stevens in Thunderosaurus.
One of the nice things about Salt Lake is it has this dirt that packs down very, very hard. And what is so nice about that is the lips will stay for longer. And it looks like for Colt Stevens, everything out there race ramp-wise and freestyle jump-wise is perfect, but he needs to carry that momentum. Everybody has been kind of off the throttle a little bit more gingerly. They have to hammer it. Like right here, when you come around the corner, sling that truck, slide it around, get that speed that you need to get the big airs.
Thunderosaurus floats up to the middle part of the track, and now right up over that pod. There's another great look at the Morgan backflip ramp. Goes Thunderosaurus up again over the berm, clears it.
Nice downside.
With World Finals so close here, I think Colt maybe start looking ahead to SoFi Stadium, where he's going to have to defend that World Finals Freestyle Championship.
Absolutely. You want to warm up. You want to get everything ready, perfectly tuned. You're looking at suspension settings. How's the truck motor running, and how are you feeling as a driver? A nice big air.
Puts it together with slap wheelie. Great combo, great catch for Colt Stevens.
Way to get the truck settled down nicely and get it turned around. This is a great run from Colt Stevens. I'm very impressed. It's very solid.
He's landed soft, getting the slap wheelie, so perfect awareness here for Colt Stevens. Now he's going to go for the Morgan backflip. He's going to have to back himself up here and get a great angle here to get that ramp center. Otherwise, you come off to the right or left, you're going to course through the truck. He goes up, he's got it perfect now. Colt Stevens, Thunderosaurus with a backflip. And he nails it again. We're seeing backflip after backflip here on this slick track in Salt Lake City.
Nice little 1-2 punch off the pod, grabbing a nice air there. See if he can finish off this run strong.
I don't know what it is about the Andersons, but he went right for him as well. Let's take a look at the Super Glue replay.
Nice big air off that freestyle ramp. Gets the truck a big bounce off the front end, but gets it settled down. And then huge air for Colt Stevens off that backflip ramp. Great execution.
9.240. Nines are flying off the board, and we got a new leader in Thunderosaurus. The second half of freestyle is next on Monster Jam. Monster Jam is brought to you by Spin Master, Epic Trucks, Epic Stunts, Monster Jam. Welcome back to round 24 of the Monster Jam season here at Rice-Eccles Stadium. During the break, the freestyle action continued. Corey Rummel in Megalodon. He would roll over the truck right here with 69 seconds on the clock, and he gets a 6.126. Our next competitor, two-time World Finals freestyle champion. This is Jim Kohler in Avenger. And Jim Kohler right off the bat going up for the jammer. Going to attempt to slap wheelie here. Doesn't get the front two wheels up, but some nice air on the floater to start off the run. What do you think about that Avenger body? We've been talking about this all season long. That great scheme that Jim Kohler keeps coming up with. This time he mixes that classic green now with a bright orange.
Man, I love the classic green. There's something about Avenger classic green that just brings me back to my childhood and watching Jim Kohler and just hitting huge freestyles and getting the name Mr. Excitement. Jim Kohler, always one to watch.
Classic Chevy-style body, seen design after design after design. Floater, jump, brake, check, off the ramp. Jim Kohler up on one wheel, able to save it back on all four BKT tires. And we talk about the slickness of the track, but the tires getting the traction, able to allow these drivers to get those saves.
Yeah, the BKTs definitely are hooking up, but you can see the track is just going away. Freestyle run after freestyle run. Jim Kohler having to slow down his momentum there.
9.240 is the score to beat. Jim Kohler's had an up-and-down freestyle season. There are some weekends he is down the bottom of the order, but then you go back to Seattle Lumen Field where he had the run of the season and took the freestyle win home.
Yeah, he is not in the rhythm that he wants to be in right now. Nice jump off the pod, but you can tell he's doing a lot more braking than he is hitting the throttle. He needs to carry his momentum more and find a rhythm, get more to those open spaces.
He's trying to find the shortest way to the backflip ramp. He does it. Morgan backflip for Avenger. Skies it high. Biggest backflip of the night so far. He lands his as well. But man, he went all the way across the log stack, demolished the jammer, and found his way right in front of the backflip ramp. Gets it done, and Avenger's not done yet.
See if he can throw something in before the clock winds down.
Goes from one wheel to another on the side.
Oh!
And man, the front end of that truck just shredded. And that'll do it. Take a look at the original Super Glue. Go to the action replay.
Huge backflip from Jim Kohler. Lands a little bit under rotation on that backflip. Lands a little short, but here you can see the whole front end of the truck, the third member and the drive shaft just snapping off.
Our next competitor, two-time Guinness World Record holder, Musa driving Zombie. He and Corey Rummel have had one of the best rivalries in the sport over the last few years. And with more on that, let's go to Leslie.
Guys, friendly competition is everywhere on this tour, and for the last 3 years, Corey Rummel and Musa have really been battling it out. Last year, Corey got ahead of Bari. This year, coming into the final event, Bari wanted to kind of settle up the score. He got him 2 years ago, and so coming out here, he said his only goal was to make sure that he finished in the points ahead of Corey, and so he's got that under lock now. He said in freestyle, it's all about just getting it done out there, following up, and putting a big wow moment out there for the crowd.
Thank you, Leslie. Bari comes into freestyle trailing the overall event lead by 6, so he still has a shot here at the event championship.
Man, this is what I like to see. Musa is doing exactly what I want out of a freestyle run. Did you see how much momentum he carried when he flat tracked that sweeper corner? You can tell he just has that little bit more life, a little bit more speed, and it's able to help him carry that momentum and find that rhythm. Musa setting himself up for a great freestyle run.
He's got 2 freestyle wins in 2024. You cannot forget that Musa led the league in freestyle wins not too long ago. So Bari capable of winning any given night. He's done so many wow moments throughout his career. He talks about being consistent and modifying this track to suit his liking. He does such a good job of hitting what he needs to hit when he needs to hit it.
Yeah, and that's because, you know, we talked about it before, but Musa loves to plan things out, and he's very great at that.
Morgan backflip for Zombie. Zombie goes up, perfectly centered on the backflip ramp into a moonwalk combo on the back end.
Nice combination move. Bari now finish it out with a wow moment.
Comes up slow over the center pod. Now looking to go across the berm, just going straight lane all the way across one side or the other of this track at Rice-Eccles Stadium. Now shifts Zombie into gear, 1-2 punch here for Bari. Coming up, big time air for Zombie as he goes across about halfway the track into a bicycle, and he's got the save. What a move for Zombie.
Here he comes into the backflip. Now watch for the combination move. The back tires hit, they throw it in reverse, and then a huge air off that race ramp. Check out those BKTs hooking up for a big save.
Musa with a great run. Take a look at the score, 9.679. We have a new leader, Musa and Zombie. Our next competitor is Adam Anderson in Gravedigger. And this track has led to some incredible action tonight. And Adam Anderson going to try to give this thing a go here, but Adam has had a great season. Even though he missed a couple of events, he is still near the top of the point standings at 2nd, and he's made some truck adjustments. We saw that come into play in racing, more of a negative side where he couldn't get a handle on the front steer, and we'll see if they have that fixed here for freestyle. But for more on Adam's thoughts on this track, let's go to Leslie Mears.
Adam Anderson's going to have some tough wheeling to do tonight in freestyle because of a power steering issue. We saw him spin out in racing, and that's when he knew he really had something going on there. So they had new components in, they checked everything out, still had a problem. Then they replaced the orbital. He said what it feels like in there is like you're sitting in your vehicle with it off, and you're trying to turn the tires. That's how hard he's wheeling Gravedigger to get it to turn on this track.
Adam, I'm sure you've dealt with similar situations in Supercross with your bike, having to navigate that and overcompensate for some of the mechanical issues going on.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that happens in Supercross is you get a little throttle, dirt in your throttle or something like that, and it's very hard to undulate the throttle and be precise when there's grit and there's stuff going on with that, and it's very stiff, and it's the same thing with that steering. A huge air for Gravedigger. but with that steering being so tough, Adam Anderson is so good at what he does, and he's so precise. It's hard to steer that truck. You can see there he comes in with a crab walk, executes the backflip, but it looks like the front end's broken.
And here's the original super glue glued to the action replay.
You can see those front tires steering to the right. It looks like Adam Anderson still having some problems. Snaps the whole left front of that 4-link bar and some other components in there. That's going to be a lot to fix.
Take a look at a freestyle leaderboard. Zombie has a lead. Thunder Roars, Vendetta, Monster Mutt, Gravedigger currently round out our top 5. We are down to the final 2 in freestyle. Ryan Anderson and Joe Foley close out the West season next on Monster Jam. We are back with the conclusion of freestyle here in Salt Lake City. And what a night it has been. A wild racing competition, a great skills competition, and an intense freestyle competition. All leads us to Ryan Anderson. He's got the series championship. He's trying to wrap up the event championship. And all he needs to do here, Adam, is finish 6th or better to win the trophy.
That is something Ryan Anderson can definitely do. He must be licking his chops right now, because when you have that kind of comfort zone as an athlete, it lets you go even bigger. When he knows that he just has to get 6th to win the event championship, he is gonna go all out right now. But sometimes when you go all out, it's a little bit too much and you come up short.
He won skills freestyle in the overall here 1 year ago. He's got 3 freestyle wins on the season, 9 overall event championships. Trying to wrap it up with number 10. Son of a Digger comes up short, has to chop his way across this dirt. Avoiding the trucks, now comes up here over the jammer. Now that berm turns into a jammer on the backside. Ryan Anderson all the way up into a brake check wheelie.
Nice little sky wheelie, gets the front end down, carrying great momentum right now.
Skies it again all the way across, nearly clears it, does clip the back left wheel, but he's able to keep going the front hood, hanging on by a thread, Son of a Digger.
Not much. Interesting spot to put Zombie and Adam Anderson over on that side, not allowing Ryan Anderson to kind of get as much speed over there.
Now over the ramp again, up to the pod, clips it on the side. An epic collision into the side of that pod. Ryan still trying to save it. I don't know how he could have. Original super glue glued to the action replay.
I don't think Ryan Anderson thought he was gonna come up short on that. You can see that left BKT grab the edge of the pod, completely destroying the 3rd member. Wow, what a crash.
Our final competitor out of Leicester, Massachusetts, Joe Foley in El Toro Loco. His 5 freestyle wins this season are 2nd in the sport, only to Tyler Menega's 8.
Yeah, that is a fantastic stat. Joe Foley does work on his truck, and he drives it as well, which I think is a big advantage, because you kind of know what's going wrong before it goes wrong when you know all the components of your truck and how it works. So that's a big advantage for Joe Foley. But right now, he's got some big airs going on, and he lands on the hood.
And he's got a save. That's why he's got 5 wins already. Catching saves like that and making them. And Jim Kohler, you've heard that strategy, or that age-old adage in stores: you buy it, you break it, you buy it. Well, for Jim, it's you break it, you fix it. And that's what Joe's had to do on his truck. He's been able to fix anything he has broken and keep this truck in one piece, keep it competing freestyle after freestyle.
Yeah, and like I said, that is very hard to do. But Joe Foley has a ton of experience and a great team behind him that's helping him out.
Freestyle Foley now up over the jammer, deep side track, brake check, gets the throttle again, slap wheelie at just the right moment. Almost able to pull off a cartwheel at the end of that, now up over the berm.
Oh, it looks like he might have a low tire. Something's going on with that left side. I'm not really sure. It looks a little out of balance, but a big bounce.
Up again. This time he's not going to be able to make the save. The run is over for El Toro Loco. Check out the original super glue glued to the action replay.
Huge air for Joe Foley. Gets a kick off that right rear tire. Bounces, lands on all 4 BKTs. What a save. And then you can see here another big bounce. Getting just far enough, but can't make the save.
Here's our final freestyle top 5. Zombie going to win it with a 9.679. Thunder Roars finishes 2nd. Vendetta in 3rd. Monster Mutt in 4th. El Toro Loco in 5th. So Joe Foley closes it out by finishing in the top 5. But Zombie gets to win, and Zombie gets 12 points as we check out our final BKT overall point standings. With that freestyle win, Musa Zombie, we're going to walk out of Salt Lake City with the event championship, 29 points. Son of a Digger with 28, Bakugan Dragonoid 27, Thunder Roarers and Vendetta with 24, and Gravedigger with 23. Bari picks up his third freestyle win and fourth event win of the season. Let's go down to Leslie with our champion.
That's right, guys. Ends the season just like you started. You know, we talked about that, about how your stats were so consistent and you were just on the verge of the victory. And then tonight, not only do you get the freestyle victory, but you take the overall too.
Yeah, you know, it's like a fairy tale out here tonight. We started the season with overall event championship, freestyle wins. We're closing it out on top here. It's good momentum going into World Finals. You know, this sport is all about momentum. If you can keep up that good momentum in freestyle, chances are you're going to get a good score. So here we are in the winner's circle on our way to World Finals.
That puts a bow on Stadium Championship Series West, but we are not done yet. Up next, we head to Hollywood for the biggest event of the year's World Finals 23 at SoFi Stadium, and we can't wait to see you there. For Adam Etzignap and Leslie Mears, I'm Scott Jordan. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right here next time on Monster Jam.